This is a Your Last Resorts production.
And welcome back. This is a little solo intro here, guys. This is episode 101. It was a great episode with Symply Courtney, another comedian here in town. He runs Tiniest Bar Showcase on Tuesdays and Thursdays where you can see him. It was a great episode. Dude, we talked about things from Ukraine to Russia. We got introspective. We talked about the current state of America and if we think we've grown, stuff like that. Very serious, introspective. But we also talked funny stuff. Like we talked about NFL players being forced to drink milk even though they're lactose intolerant. We talked about our favorite foods, you know, how I didn't speak as a child till I was 3 years old. Just a bunch of crazy stuff. A super fun episode. Symply Courtney is a great fucking dude. One of the most genuine people I've met in Austin here. So it was great to have him on. Great to talk that. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I am here talking to you early because I had some road gigs this week, and I'm starting to get booked on more stuff, starting to have some fun shows, exciting stuff. And when I listen to stand-up comedy podcasts, maybe you guys just listen to me because you're my friend or you like me or you find me interesting. But if you're here for any stand-up thing, when I listen to stand-up podcasts, I love to hear about comedians going on the road, doing things, stuff like that, because I think it's just cool. So I wanted to share with you guys, and I also just don't want to be like, yo, guess, want to hear about my fucking dope weekend and how cool I am? I'm fucking sick. You weren't there, but I was. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird. So this weekend I had the very cool opportunity of, it was my first time doing 2 shows at the same club on different nights. Basically like my first weekend at a club, which was so exciting. I've done road work before. I performed at clubs before, but I've never gotten to go on the road, do 2 nights. We did Friday and Saturday's night at Jokester's 22 Comedy Club Pub and Grill in downtown San Antonio. It was dope, dude. Great venue. Shout out Marsha. She's an awesome booker. Amazing time. Shows were a blast. You're like a half a block away from the Alamo. Super great location. It was good. Friday night show, it sucks to admit it, but I had a very below average, not great set. I bombed on Friday night, which I think it's weird for people who aren't comics to kind of understand the whole what that means. You know, in like football and sports and your job, like you kind of get like 1 or 2 fuck ups and then you're in mad trouble. But like it's so normal in comedy to just very often just go up there and eat shit. Like, and it's not, what you got to understand is I didn't go up at these clubs and be like, I'm going to try new stuff. I did the stuff that normally works, that if they were like, hey, you're going to perform tonight on Jimmy Fallon, do your best shit. I did that shit and it didn't work. And that's just part of it. So, you know, it was the first night I definitely had a rougher mentally thing. It was just, I booked, I learned a lot of good things this weekend. It was me booking my first showcase. For those who don't know, a showcase, instead of it being like headliner feature open, we had 8 comics coming down from Austin, all that. And there was definitely a little bit of a learning curve with building a lineup, running it fluently, efficiently, that I'm still learning and stuff. I've produced shows before, but it's all just a new process, and I learned so many good things. And so, the show, we dragged on. We had, me coming up in between every set on Friday night. I think people still had fun. People had good sets. People laughed. It just, I'm a perfectionist, and I want it to be 100% perfect every time, no matter what. And so then we were able to get a hotel down there, spent the night. It was a great night, dude. It was just cool because the people that I got to book on the show are people that I think are hilarious. I think they're hard workers. I think they deserve it. I think they're some of Austin's best, and that's why I booked them. And to me, it was more important about getting to give them their shine and putting this on for people and making the crowd happy. And I think that we did that. And especially Saturday night, we tweaked it. We did a shotgun style where the next comic brings up the comic, very smooth. And God, the Saturday show was fucking great, dude. Great crowd, amazing time. Show went so smoothly. Everyone did great. Everyone had fun. Not to say that the Friday show wasn't great. I think I like the Saturday show more because I did better. I'm gonna be more happy when I'm happy. Is that That's got to be like the dumbest thing I've ever said, right? If I'm more happy, I'm going to be happy. If you're wet, you're going to be more wet. If you're full, you're going to be full. Hey, thanks, Dr. Genius over there, for explaining to me that when you are one thing, you're more of it than you were before. What a fucking concept. I don't know. I'm just shitting on myself. It was a great weekend, though. So much fun. Dude, like Saturday, it was so cool just waking up in a different city with my, I got the hotel with my boy Jordan McDonald, Colin O'Mara, Dale Mendoza, guests on the last episode, my boys from your last review. Just to wake up with your fucking boys in a hotel room of a city that you just did a comedy show in and you're doing another one. You're getting paid. We're making real money. Like, that's the cool thing. This weekend means so much to me because I went and I got to do 2 nights at a real comedy club in a town that I'm not from, and the shows were great, and I got paid real fucking money. And this, I think some people look at me and they're like, oh, he's a guy who tells jokes at a bar. He's not a real comedian. Bro, I'm a real fucking comedian. Everyone who went down there is a real comedian. We're hilarious, and we killed that shit. And if you want to say that I'm not a real comedian, then you can get on both knees and lick my dick. Because I'm a fucking real-ass comedian, and that shit was dope, bro. It was such a good weekend. Again, shout out Marsha. Shout out Jokesters22. I can't wait to get back down there. I can't wait for them to have us back if they do. It was just a great time. Other than that, guys, please, if you haven't, go check out Your Last Review. It is my new food show with the guys I just talked about, Colin O'Mara, Jordan McDonald, Dale Mendoza, us four exploring and showing you the sights, sounds, and tastes of Austin. It's amazing. I think for those of you who don't know, probably like in high school, I used to do funny Yelp reviews of places I would eat at. I'd post them on my Snapchat story. I would post videos of me, like my dad would make chicken. I'd be like, this chicken is immaculate. It tastes like it fucked a Chick-fil-A chicken for 10. You know what I mean? I would just, sorry, put up these ridiculous videos and people thought they were funny. And then when I got into comedy, I was like, what if I did those Yelp reviews again? And I came up with the idea of making them into minute videos. And then I added little pictures and cutaways to them. And then now, dude, I have my own web series, TV show, food show. And if you're listening right now, you might be thinking like, what kind of quality is whatever you're thinking, it's going to blow you out of the water and exceed those expectations. This show one day will be on a TV network or something like that. It'll be this shit's going to be big, bro. I'm like, so not to humble brag or be a douchebag. I'm so happy and so proud of how this turned out. Shout out Perry Grown for his amazing filming skills. Shout out my boys, Colin O'Mara, Jordan McDonald, and Dale Mendoza for being hilarious. And dude, it was cool. I mean, I came up with the vision. I directed it. I came up with the shot list. I edited and produced this whole thing by myself. All the edits, the final show, that was me, dude. This is my fucking baby, and I'm so proud of it. So it would mean the world to me and my friends if you would go check it out. You could find it on YouTube. Your Last Review, Diddy Dog. It's on my YouTube channel, Brandon Lejean. You can find it at youtube.com/Brandon Lejean. You can even find it on my Instagram, at Brandon Lejean _ on Instagram. You can find Your Last Review now on my IGTV. So please, 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 I'm begging you, do me a solid and do yourself a favor and go watch it right now on there. Other than that, guys, I fucking love you. The squad, you guys are the best. I love you all so much. 101 episodes. We're gonna keep making them better. I'm gonna start talking to you guys more just for little short segments like this because I love the one-on-ones with y'all and just hanging out. But other than that, guys, thank you so much and enjoy episode 101 with Symply Courtney, and I'll talk to you next week. See ya. And welcome back to the Your Last Resort podcast with your host, Brandon Lejean. It's episode 101, and this week I'm joined by my guest, Symply Courtney. Thank you for doing the podcast, man. I appreciate it. It's good. Yeah, I know. It's good to get you on. So, first thing I have written down that I want to ask you, are you team Ukraine or Russia? Where you stand?
I'm team Ukraine.
Team Ukraine.
But here's the only reason why I'm team Ukraine.
Yeah.
I love an underdog. I do.
Yeah.
I love an underdog. I don't know too much about either.
Yeah.
And so I can't go on the whole history thing. I know that, supposedly this was a Soviet breakup from what I have backstory or whatever. And then that Ukraine is back and forth if they were going to join NATO or if it was looked at if it wasn't like smart. I think the last thing I remember was Bush, and I want to say senior, One of them said that they didn't think it was a good idea for Ukraine to try to join up with NATO. So I don't understand the logistics of behind who wronged who. I do know that what I'm looking at now, though, doesn't look like a fair fight, nor does it look like a cool run at it or go at it for the Ukraine, because they have, I can't remember the numbers, but the numbers are something staggering, like 200,000 mobile infantrymen versus whatever small number that it's
like 300. It's literally like the movie.
Yes.
It's there, because it's this whole thing where, like, of course, I just, of course, I think everyone is Team Ukraine. There was just part of me that you were just like, Russia, I'm a communist. I'm glad
crazy,
you brought
right?
it. It'd be so awesome.
It
would be great, though. You know what I mean? But
I'm looking for that. I'm trying to find. I've been looking for YouTube videos of Russian sympathizers, or just to see what they think over there. And I found a few. The thing that scares me so much, I'm like, what if the propaganda machine won't allow me to see it? Like, what if my settings, they're like, we have to make sure that he does not believe in Russia, because I'm a very, empty glass full type person, and I want to see both sides.
No, totally.
Even if I have my feelings wrapped into it, I still want to know what the other side is doing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious too. I'm like, well, what about the pro-Russia people? What are they being fed, or what do they think? What's their rationale? And I always want to know, because when you get so caught up in this is right, and all you hear is this is right, that's wrong, at some point you're like, wait a minute now, how much do I really know?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, that's like, because it's one of those things where there's a lot of, on Twitter, everyone's, pro-Ukraine, and there's so much Ukraine stuff, but there's so many rumors that, like, some of the stuff out of the Ukraine stuff is also fake. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I'm here for it. Like, they had that guy, the Ghost of Kyiv.
Right.
Dude, and they immediately were like, it's fake. And I was like, don't care. I believe in him. That guy's fucking sick.
He's
like,
taking out, like,
6 planes in one day, they said, which, like, an Air Force pilot was like, that's not possible. But, like... And I'm just like, let's get him tatted on my body, bro. Like,
Ghost of Kyiv.
Just right across my chest.
I don't know what to believe, because honestly, I look at, like, our searches, and I want to search for stuff, and there's sometimes it takes me so long to find it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, they got me,
Yeah.
And I almost want to take my stuff and put it on incognito mode.
Yeah,
and
see
really
what you can find.
Both sides, because when you get in a point where everything is right, this is exactly right, you have to know there's a such thing as, I don't know, I'm going to keep saying yin and yang.
Yeah.
Everybody's only yin. Everybody's team yin, yin. I was like, what about the yang? What about the other side? You know? And I'm not saying that I'm going to go and sympathize, but at the same time, I want to be fully informed.
Yeah.
Before I make an assumption. Obviously, the visuals. And I will say that TikTok is something that's different, because you can actually get real-time updates on what's going on.
No, totally.
Some of it is, people taking old footage from other things and saying, this is that.
Yeah.
But then there's some things that are just undeniable. And at some point, you see this person go from doing tours around the Ukraine to all of a sudden they're showing bombed up residential areas.
Yeah.
And you can try to go, that's propagated as much as you want.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to go, okay, there's a certain part of this that's reality-based, because if I have a fight, or somebody has a fight, and I pull my phone out and I record it, what does it serve me to go and doctor it? There's something that could.
Yeah, no, there's definitely, like, weird people who do shit like that. But and it's one of those things where it's like, if it was like Russia versus China, or like Russia versus Korea, or Russia versus the US, I would be like, there's propaganda on both sides. But, like, Ukraine is a tiny country.
Yes, it is.
It's crazy. It'd be like the rest of the United States invading, like, Nevada or some shit. So it would be, so it's hard for anyone. It's hard for you to believe, like even if there's Ukrainian propaganda, like, how, like, because when you think propaganda, you think of, like, just lies being shown to show, like, a war is good. I don't think Ukraine is, like, creating a fake narrative to defend their country at some point.
I almost feel like that would be so weird. Like, they're like, oh my God, this building got blown up. The world's biggest airplane got blown up.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to go, maybe they're just pulling their phone out and they're just recording it as is,
No, yeah, maybe that shit's just... And it also happened... Russia did it 8 years ago. So it's like...
Crimea, right?
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. Crimea,
so it's very easy
similar,
to, like, believe that it happened. And, like, the one thing that and I get it, and I'm gonna sound like a hater right here, but it does make me laugh, is over the pandemic we got to see the power of protests.
Yes.
But there's also like I was in San Antonio yesterday. There was a group of people gathering like with Ukraine flags, and people gathering here in Austin. It's like, I understand like that you're fighting the good fight, but at some point it's like, what are you doing? Like, because for me it's like the Black Lives Matter protest. It was within the country, and you were making a change kind of within the country, but. Like, what does the purpose of like walking around downtown 6th Street with a Ukraine flag do for the Ukrainian people in Ukraine? Is what was kind of, I don't know. What do you think on that?
It's a moral protest, is a statement, and it shows people where you're at. It's almost very clear, and I know this is super controversial to talk about, but hey, here we go. It's almost the same thing as people wearing a mask when it comes to the whole pandemic. You know, we're on YouTube, or what are we gonna?
We're on. It's on everything. We'll be fine.
I don't want to. I'm not going to say that word. Let me not say that word. The pandemonium. But we know that people that were getting treated, and we're not going to say people that were getting treated. The people that were treating. Sorry, scratching my nose. The people that were treating them were wearing bunny suits and like crazy like amounts of covering. Yeah. And yet we, in our, ignorance, I say, we think this one little single mask over our nose and mouth will protect us. You know?
No,
but
exactly.
I told people, I said, that is a statement. And it's not that I'm protecting myself, which some people don't notice. That was to protect others. And so I told people when I wore a mask, I double layered, whatever, it was assuming that I potentially had it, and I didn't want to spread it to someone else. It wasn't saying that it was going to keep me safe. I wore mine to keep my friends, my brethren safe. And so I felt like, kind of drawing the parallel of somebody protesting something in a different country is they are almost as an affirmation song, or it's me showing people where I stand.
I guess that's true.
That's where it is. It's literally just making a statement, and it's no different than me saying, hey, I believe that every black life matters. Now, have I ever had a fight with a black person? Yes. Are there some black dudes out there that I might be like, knock this dude out? Yes. But at the same time, it's me letting people know this is where I stand. This is my morals. Some people don't like that, and I get it. Some people love that. But I love the idea that people feel comfortable. I'm going to say this. People feel comfortable to express where they feel. And people are in a spot right now. We don't know what happens a year from now, 10 years from now. We can say what we feel.
Yeah, I guess that's very true,
We really can come out here, and I think about other countries all the time. Hell, I think about Russia. Speaking out against something that you don't like in the freaking cabinet or in the upper whatever. You go to jail for that.
No, exactly, You're very silenced in other countries.
Your life is on the line. Your family's life is on the line. Whereas here in America, yes, we have some things where you might get canceled or whatever you want to say. But for the most part, you're almost able to operate scot-free. And it's not saying that you're not going to get, talking to via Facebook. They ban you for 24 hours or whatever.
Certain phrases,
Yeah, but I think that we are in a spot where we can care about stuff that literally isn't in front of us. And I just wanted to point this out only because I think it's the damn coolest thing ever. Freaking people are starting, there are reports that people are buying, I guess you call it renting. What do you do when you do an Airbnb? Do you rent it or you buy it?
You rent an Airbnb,
okay. People are renting Airbnbs in the Ukraine with no intention of ever going there, but it's to send money there, and it's sending financial resources.
That's cool,
I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I was like, this is what this generation is answering when it comes to donating.
You're right, because it's fighting an evil. Like it's not as much as it's like, how does it help Ukraine? You are more taking a stance against Russia and like a bully and stuff like that. It's one of those things. I think it's as a comedian, it's like you want to play devil's advocate, and you just kind of like, because yesterday I was in downtown San Antonio, and it was like 10 people protesting for Ukraine, and then next to them was about 100 people gathered around like a child breakdancing, which is like everyone cared more way about that. And then funny enough, you couldn't hear either group because there was like the Black Israelites have like a great sound system, and we're just yelling over them. And I was like, this is such chaos. Like no one's getting what they actually want to get across because there's so much going on. But but I guess I never thought about it the way that you were saying, where it's like we're in a very cool time where we're not silenced, and you can kind of take a stance against the bad, take a stance for the good, or whatever your viewpoint is, that a lot of people can't. So I've never thought about it.
We're
that
exercising something that, you know, we talk about our generation. A lot of us, you know, blacks, we talk about what our I hate calling ancestors because it sounds like it's so far away.
Yeah.
But what our elders fought for and protested for and demonstrated for and were sometimes persecuted and mistreated for.
Mm-hmm.
Us just literally, me getting on a podcast and saying, I believe that Black Lives Matters.
Yeah.
I also believe that there aren't all bad cops. There are some good ones out there.
Yeah.
But the bad ones almost negate the positivity of the good ones.
Yeah.
I can say that because my ancestors, God dang it, my elders, they made it to where I was able to be safe.
Yeah.
And do that. That, yes, I still have little worries here and there, but I feel like my stuff isn't as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
It could have been, you know, in the 50s, I was like, yo, I could have tried.
Dude, 50 years ago, like, we wouldn't do this pot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would be absurd for us to be in the same room together this. You know, so it is very weird when you, I think because same with the ancestors thing too, like it discredits almost the struggle of like, it could be your grandparents. I mean, what was it? Brown versus Board of Education was 1965. In 1964.
My mom's sisters both went to school. Her older sisters went to school when there wasn't that, when there was segregation.
Same with my grandparents. Like that, like my grandma and grandpa, who I love, like went through that, and it's not. And I mean, they're not went through it. They were just there. But
they
like,
were there though. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it is crazy, and I never thought about that because the ancestor almost makes you think of like Mulan when they're in the temple bringing in their souls back. Like no, this isn't 1512. This is 1955, 1964.
Yeah.
Dude, 2020, like it's, you know what I mean, like because if you have kids or family or whatever your lineage is that is passed on, will look back hopefully and think that you lived in a worse time than they did. I know that sounds weird to say, but that's what everyone wants.
That's what we want. We want our time to be
worse than the next generation, in some sense, but better than the one before. It's not moving forward, not backwards.
It would be ludicrous for me not to want my kids or my my grandkids to live in a better off society, or that I did something that put them in a better position, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's no disrespect to my parents, no disrespect to my grandparents, but I want to be better than them.
No, exactly.
And I want my kids, I have a 13-year-old and 11-year-old, I want them to be better than me.
Yeah, okay,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
I don't want it to be like a competition, like, no, you're not. No. Yes, I'm applauding you. I want you to be better, you know? Dad, it took you to the time I was this old to take care of me. I'm going to do it at 20. I'm like, good.
Yeah, no, exactly,
you know?
yeah.
So,
but kids need parents like and viewpoints like that from you to make a better like next generation.
Be honest, you know?
Yeah.
There's sometimes, I've been around people that weren't honest. They were like, nah, I gave you the best life I could.
Yeah.
Did you really? Because you were partying.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect to people that go out and party and stuff, you know? But
there's a responsibility you have.
And there's some people that didn't do it until they had to. Some people didn't do it until they were able to. And I'm not going to discount those latter years. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not going to say I killed it from the gate. Of course. You know, I had my kids, my little girl, 13, so I'm 26. Obviously, I had to have been, 23, 22. Yeah. You know, my son came when I was 25. You know, when I had my son, I graduated college. I was... had been married almost 5 years. Yeah. Had already worked a permanent job, had a good job. Probably by the time he was born, I was already working 5 years, whatever. I had, by what would have appeared to be, succeeded. I did it. Yeah. I did it. I was married. I had kids. I had responsibilities. I had a stable job. And it was just one of those things that I was just like, this was it. But then I remember thinking like, no, this isn't it. There are so many things wrong with what I got going on right now. The kids are great, but at the same time, everything could be better. And if we get away from this idea of that we have to be perfect out the gate, we make our life so much easier, you know?
No, totally. I agree
tell my kids all the time, like, you don't have to figure it out right now. That was a mistake that I think people made with me. I was, 10 years old. What do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah. And my 13 and my 11-year-olds told me, we don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They used to, I mean, even like we're like a generation gap, but even in mine, I remember being in like 6th, 5th grade taking these like 100-question multiple choice tests that were like, you're going to be a art director, you're going to be a trash man. And you're like, what? I don't even know what it's like, you're going to be like an aerospace engineer. I'm like, I don't know what those 2 words mean. I'm fucking 10 years old. Why are we doing this? They'd sit you down with a counselor based off your scores. How do you know?
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah. Oh, hey, did your scores say that you were going to be scoring kids for their jobs? No, it probably didn't. So get the fuck over to yourself.
Generation test, you know?
Yeah.
That Chris Rock joke is so good when he talks about the, I think it was a tambourine.
That's a great
and
special,
he talks about you didn't want to be an assistant principal.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the realest thing ever, though.
Exactly,
Nobody signed up saying, I want to be the assistant, anything.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be the head, but you have to. That's what we're seeing right now in this whole, they're trying to make people return back to the office. But there are a lot of jobs that people called worthless. There are a lot of jobs that people called unskilled, which I think is the dumbest term. I think that's a term we need to get rid of for 2022.
No, 100.
Unskilled labor.
Yeah.
What the fuck is unskilled labor? Unskilled? Making McDonald's. It's like, first of all, they're making food.
Dude, my girl used to work there. That shit was
the way she under duress.
Yeah, the way she described it, I was like, that shit sounds way worse than like an office job, like a CEO shit. Yes. Way worse.
And I'm not gonna take anything away from the CEOs and the office people.
Yeah.
But when you're working under duress,
yeah,
and you got people that don't want to be there, and
you're making like $7.25 an hour,
and people gonna talk trash to you and they're demeaning you.
Yeah.
Why would you go back?
Exactly.
Why would somebody willingly go back to that?
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a person that would willingly go back to that type of environment unless they had a choice. And then the magic of the pandemic is now people have seen their choices.
Yeah.
Oh, I can go make my own money.
People are finding ways to pursue passions because I think it's one of those things where like adults, especially the last generation, have told this kind of lie, not like a lie to themselves, but it's like everyone's like, I love my job. And it's like, dude, I think 99% of people don't like their job. Like
You're not wrong.
I always think of there's like a Young Thug line where he says, like my mom said to never hate on cops because everybody wanted to be a star. Like basically like no one really everyone deep down wants to be a rapper, a comedian, like a movie star, like some cool job that you grew up like seeing all over TV and stuff. No one like even I'm not even saying like hating on him, but like the happiest mechanic, like probably when he was a child at some point wanted to be something grandiose.
I can see that.
And so I think it's just one of those things where like you shouldn't, like, that's why you never want to hate on anyone no matter where they work, what they do.
Amen.
And you got to, and like whether it's a mechanic to a CEO to a McDonald's worker, just treat them with respect because they're the same person as you, and they maybe just didn't get that stroke of luck, maybe made one mistake, didn't take advantage. We're all one mistake away from rock bottom, dude.
Facts. And I think I was dating a girl once that told me that. She said most of us are one missed paycheck away from being homeless. And I was like, yo, that rocked me to my core because she was right. You know, if certain things don't fall a certain way, we're done. You know, and this pandemic, I'll get your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Did it make us stronger as people or did it make us weaker? Because they were like, there was the government part that they gave out money. Obviously, they didn't give out nearly enough. Yeah. But they gave out something. But then there's a lot of people that found out that, oh, snap, I could do my job from home. Or, oh, snap, I can make enough money to support myself from home. Or I can go out and hustle and I ain't got to punch a clock. Do you think that made us stronger and smarter and wiser? Or did it make us worse?
I think it made us stronger and wiser and smarter. I think with finding things we love to do, different outlets, making money, cutting out unnecessary things we need. I think even like more like a jump sideways, but like, you know, I think everyone started to not fully trust the government, which is a good thing. Like everyone started to do research and trust their things. The only negative thing I think came from the pandemic is I think we're more divided and less divided as a nation at the same time.
See that.
Like I think the line between like whatever you want to call it, the left and the right is a thicker line than ever, but I think the unity between like the right amongst the right and the left amongst the left is like is more stronger than before. It's kind of like I think it's like people who went to Black Lives Matter protests and spoke out on stuff and were like, you know, like pro-mask and stuff like that are very strong in their opinions and are unified and like love each other. But I also think that the people who were like, it's my freedom and my this also learned to take a stance and unified with their people and like understanding each other in some senses. I mean,
That
you know,
makes
obviously,
sense.
you know, there's, you know, depending on what side you're on, you're going to have a bias, and there's bad things that, you know, you can point out on both sides. But I
Correct.
think it's just, I think we're more together, but also more divided in a sense.
That made perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't see a clear solution, nor do I see a clear outcome that came from all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely can say for myself, I just put it on myself.
Yeah.
I'm more apt to looking up how and why.
Yeah.
Than ever.
Research, not just
Yeah.
believing word of mouth. Like
Yeah.
I want to take the time to make sure that I don't like see something, even though I was just saying I believe all the Ukraine
Right.
propaganda, but like I'm not gonna like go read something about like something very pivotal in like my home country and go just regurgitate it without making sure that it
Yes.
wasn't a lie, because we're definitely at a point where like it's okay for news sources to lie. Like it's not.
It is.
It's not even frowned upon
We've
anymore.
been there though, and the thing
Oh
is,
yeah,
a lot of people didn't realize
Anchorman
it.
called it out years ago.
Years
Anchorman's
ago.
like a 2000s movie, like
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Well, when what's his name did War of the Worlds, and he showed us how easily Orson Welles.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
He does that, and he showed us how quickly we gravitated towards news if we thought it came from a substantiated source.
Yeah.
And so we were just like, oh, this is real because it's on the radio.
Yeah.
The radio is always the truth, you know? Mm-hmm. And people freaked out. And so that's no different. It was black and white back then.
Yeah.
It's no different now. I mean, I think we're down there 100 years since, or it's close to 100 years since
Yeah.
it happened, I think. And my whole thing is we now are okay with questioning things.
Yeah, which is
And
good.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that if I say, hey, give me money for this thing, you have the right to go, well, tell me a little bit what my money is going to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the duty to show you this is what it is.
Yeah.
And if you deem that not needed or not necessary, you have a right to pull out, back away. And I
Yeah.
think that we have more agency now than ever to question things. And we have more tools. In my opinion, we have more tools, even though I know they're talking about, you know, books getting canceled, pulled off, et cetera,
But
et cetera.
still, I mean, as much as social media has its corruption, it's way more easy, like, to fact check stuff now.
I think so, yeah.
Than, I mean, dude, because think about it. If you heard something on Fox News in 1980, you don't have a computer in your house. You don't have a smartphone.
No.
Like, you got to pull out your fucking Farmer's Almanac or some
Yeah,
bullshit. Like,
yeah.
it's dumb. So, yeah, we have more access. I think a thing for me, too, that changed during this pandemic was... going into it, I was very like political in the sense that like I was like, all right, like if we vote and we make things happen, like things can change, and like it's all through that. And it was one of those things where like I think unfortunately I lost a lot of faith in like the American like Democrat versus Republican, because it's such a Sharks versus Minnows,
Yeah.
you know, Jets versus the Giants, like bullshit. So it just for me, it just became like where I came to a point where it's like, all right, like I'm not going to focus all my time on like, all right, getting this vote or this law or this proposition, and more just as myself, the best thing I can do is like spread love and treat everyone the same way that I would want to be
I
treated.
think you're right.
And so it's like, dude, if I go to a bar and I meet a guy who's being cool and then he all of a sudden is like something like Republican, so like I'm not going to be like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
and I used to be like that, where I'd be like, you're a bad person. And it's like, nah, dude, like that doesn't define a person. Because a lot of times people just say, I think most people don't care about politics.
They don't.
And most people's stance is just something that either their parents said or they read one thing and that was it. It's just
That thing
regurgitated
became their
thoughts.
Bible.
Yeah.
It became their Bible, and I'm backing you up with that. I feel
Yeah.
the same way. And although a black man, I'm like, you can literally say stuff that I don't agree with,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to immediately run away from you. Now,
Yeah.
if it becomes a thing where you're needling me and you're doing it on purpose, antagonizing whatever, then I have the right to, you know, figure out a way out. But I'm a comic. I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
Every other person I'm performing for doesn't see the world as I see it.
Of course.
Doesn't believe in what I believe.
Yeah.
Doesn't agree with my full stance. You know, I just tell people, you know, you look me up on Facebook. Facebook, I think, is probably the place where I'm a little bit more vocal.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not just comedy on here. You know, if you look at my Facebook, you know, it's
Yeah, it's
I
your
tell three
opinions and
things.
thoughts, yeah.
It's three things. You know, it's entertaining, it's informing, and it's encouraging. That's
Yeah.
what I do. That's pretty much where I send her around. My Instagram is probably a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
My Twitter, when I remember to post stuff on there, is something like
Yeah.
that. You know, but I tell people all the time, like, I'm not a monolith. I am multifaceted, and I have a multitude of different ways that I can feel about different things. Today, I might feel like this about this thing. Tomorrow, I might feel like that. Part of getting older for me and a lot of us is we learn we're not always right.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
We also see that sometimes if you listen to the other side, you can find stuff in that other side, whatever the issue is, that you can go, okay, I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I still may in the end disagree with their methodology, but I can see where they're coming from. I'm more apt to listen now than I was, we'll say 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
It's less just like that jump assumption. It's less about making the jump assumption of it's like, you're like, I'm a Republican, I vote for Trump, and you're just like, you're a piece of shit. And it's like, well, maybe they're not. Like, maybe they're just not. Like for whatever reason, there's just so many variables to just assume off one thing that someone's bad for something is an absurd thought or thing to do. This is a question that I wanted to ask you. So as a black man, there's been so much like change and support and good things happening for the community. Do you, because I feel like I watched this happen as like a bystander, do you feel like you have like white people coming up to you like almost trying to like bring up the fact how woke they are to you? Have you felt like that's increased with it's always kind of been like that?
It's always been like that.
Okay,
when I'm driving, I like how I talk about this in the presence. I haven't driven Uber in like 2 years now.
Yeah.
I've done deliveries, but
that's why I do the Uber Eats.
Yeah, so long. But I remember I would have people almost say little goofy things like, I swear I made this up. I don't think somebody said it to me. I hope I'm wrong. Man, Black Panther is my favorite Avenger. I'm like, oh, is that the update to I would have voted for Obama for a third time if he ran?
What? That is exactly what that is. Like you was going to say that and you're going to look back and be like, hell yeah, bro.
You know
I fucking, I got you, bro.
Yeah,
Wakanda forever. Yeah.
Hold the line.
Ibombe, yeah.
I just, I don't think it's increased. I feel like it's the same.
Okay, yeah.
I know that timing, we could say timing.
Yeah.
Black History Month. If there's, significant, activity going on, maybe there's protest or something happened recently.
Yeah.
Then I might get some of those. But for the most part, it feels like everybody's doing the same amount of pandering as they've always done.
Okay, yeah. I was just curious. It's probably just more that I'm around so many people now with comedy that I kind of see it more. But it was just something that I've noticed because I almost it's just one of those things, especially I think with February being the thing. I mean, goddamn, the amount of times where it was like I watched like black person A say something and then like white person A like give them shit and then white person be like, bro, it's February. And it's like, all right, dude, like you're right, it is. But like the way you're saying it, you're like taking away from it in a sense. So
it depends on what they're saying. I mean, that argument could come up anytime. And I was like, there's never an appropriate time to be racist,
Yeah.
There's never an appropriate time to be prejudiced or anything like that. And I don't know, some people you can tell mean well. And that's one of the things that all of us have to take into consideration. What is that person's intent? What is their motive?
Yeah.
If their motive usually is to get something, then it's usually the wrong motive. Now, if their motive is to give something, now you got something that's you can build off of.
Okay,
you have a foundation.
Yeah.
That's what I think of for everything in this world. If your motive is to get something, if it's just to get something, you might need to rethink that. But if your motive is to maybe have a give and a take, if there is a symbiotic there you go, symbiotic race relationship, where it's give and take, then you're good. But if you're out there and you're just parasitic and you're just praying, well, I mean, in some respects, I was like, do what you got to do. But in other respects, you're not going to get that far, in my personal opinion. If you're just getting, getting. At some point, you have to give. And so when it comes to people that give those compliments or make those comments or whatever it is, my question is always, what are you trying to get at here? Like, you make that comment, are you trying to get a rise out of me? Are you trying to prove to everybody else that you're good? Are you trying to prove to yourself? Are you intrinsically motivated because you want to prove to yourself that you're a good person? Where are we going from there? Because there's some people I'll see, they'll say stuff, and then I'll be like, your actions don't line up with what you're saying. I've seen that time and time, especially in comedy. I could be like, I don't know if you really feel like that, because I see you do things. I tell people all the time, you can talk all you want, but at the end of the day, your actions are more of what we're going to remember. The feelings that you give people are what last a lifetime.
No, exactly.
People want to figure out what immortality is. In my opinion, I don't think I figured it all out at 36, but I feel like I'm getting closer. Immortality is living beyond your physical time here, because you've given yourself, you've given your feelings, your vibe, your knowledge, you've given your whatever to others, and that lives on through them, through their kids, through you, through your kids, et cetera, you know?
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I was just curious. That was just something that popped into my head, and I was curious about it. I want to ask you, Symply Courtney. How'd you come up with the name? Obviously, that's Symply Courtney. I assume is not on your birth certificate.
No, it's not.
Where'd you come up with that?
The name is Courtney. Real name is Courtney. Real name is Courtney Creighton. For those that don't know.
Okay, yeah.
It's really Courtney Creighton. I worked Parks and Rec, so my professional background is Parks and Recreation Department, and I was working with them many years before I started doing comedy. But when I started doing comedy, going to open mics, and you're doing comedy, you're saying whatever the hell comes to your mind.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude, I can't be up here cussing and saying all this crazy shit when I have to go back to work.
They're like, let's look him up, and it's like Parks director.
Yeah, like what the hell? I'm working.
He said about eating pussy and butt. Like,
I'm working with with what we call disadvantaged populations. I'm working with seniors. I'm working with people with disabilities, etc. And I was like, yo, we can't have both. You got to pick one. And so what I did is I just sorted it, and I said, Courtney. So whenever I signed up for open mic, it was just Courtney on there. And one day, I think a guy, to this day, I always get the story backwards. I don't remember which happened first, the egg or the chicken. But it was something like a guy said, hey, what do you want me to call you on stage? I said, oh, just say Simply Courtney. And I said that, and the guy said, that, Simply Courtney? I said, yeah. And I'm thinking he's just going to say Courtney, but instead he says, guys, give it up for your next comic, Simply Courtney. And I was like,
oh, that's cool. Yeah.
That's not bad. Because at this point, I remembered, like, you have to get on social media at some point when you're trying to get shows or find out about opportunities. And so I was always anti-Facebook because I was going through a divorce, and my ex, she was always deep on the social media. And I was like, I'm not doing social media. That's not for me.
Yeah.
And I remember going, got to have a Facebook. I remember a comic was telling me, you got to have a Facebook. And Facebook doesn't allow you to just have one name. Yeah. And so I was like, well, I got to have a first and a last name. I can't put my real name on because I have a job. So I remember I was like, you know what? Simply Courtney. And then my daughter, her name is Simone. It's spelled Symonne. Yeah. My little boy's name is Titan. It's spelled Tytan. Okay, yeah. And so I spell my name Symply. And it mimics the spelling of their names.
I love that. That's great. Okay, because I was going to ask why you spelled it that way instead of, that's cool.
It just like theirs. And so when you look at all of our names together, it's Simply, Simone, Titan. And I don't know. I feel like it's a really neat way to have myself stand apart.
Oh, totally.
But the coolest thing is it's still my name. People will be like, well, are you, no disrespect to Jamie Foxx. He's dope as hell. But my full name has Courtney in it. Yeah. So no, exactly. I didn't go too far away from where I'm already at. You know?
I feel you because my last name Lejean looks nothing like it's spelt, and so I'm someone who's never upset when anyone gets it wrong, because why would you ever get it right? Like if someone gets it right, I'm like, whoa. You know me, or like, what the fuck? Like, how did you do that? Yeah.
Who you been talking to?
Bro, I was in France, like just showing people my ID, like say it, and they're like Lejean, and I was like, yes, finally someone gets it right.
Finally, I screwed that thing up playing.
You're chilling.
Le Grande.
And that's the thing. I've been suggested to go by Brandon Legendary, which I get. My last name literally has the word legend in it, but like you were saying, like if I go by Legendary, like one, douchebag. I'm a douchebag.
I'm not supposed to agree with that, but I'm a
it's okay. I could see it in your face when I was like, Brandon Legendary, you're like, ugh, gross. You already were like, I hate you so much more. Yeah. So you have that, and then but like you were saying, you're still Courtney, like because Jamie Foxx, like what I don't know what his real name is.
I cannot remember. I think it's Eric or something like that.
Exactly.
Eric Bishop.
So if someone says Eric, that has to sound almost foreign to him. And that's what I was saying, because it's like, you look at this banner, Brandon Lejean. No, that's got to get changed to Legendary. I am always Brandon Legendary. Like, Brandon Lejean almost dies in a sense when you get where it's like, you're not getting rid of your name. Your name's still in it. You just kind of more added a suffix than completely
and that's the
changing
biggest
it.
thing.
Yeah.
And I will get so much shit about it. Not recently, thank God.
Yeah.
But I know it's coming. I get so much shit about it, and I'm like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
In this day and age, here's my thing. If there's a time period that we should be more apt to allowing ourselves to go by whatever name we want to go by, and if people are more accepting of that, I think it would be now.
Yeah.
Call me by what I'm asking you to call me by. Call me by my name.
No, yeah, you're right.
Don't give me a goofy ass sass about it. I was like, really? And I this is a little hack I do for people, usually white people. I'll do this too. I'll be like, I know that the way I look, I don't deserve respect, but please give me respect like you'd give somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no, that's not what I meant. I was like, good. Now call me by my name and spell it the way I'm asking you to.
Yeah.
Because I see people all the time who go, well, I used to have people that would be like, man, they say whatever they want to say. And I was like, I'm not accepting that. You could do it as a joke and I'll hee-hee-ha-ha with you.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to look at you and go, you need to correct that.
No, I totally get it. Because I was going to ask, with a name like Courtney, was that hard growing up?
Absolutely.
Because my dad's name was Stacy.
Okay, see.
So I understand, from a second hand, I understand. Because he went by Casey for years, which I was like, I like that you picked another like slightly feminine name.
My initials are Cece.
Oh, yeah. You're fucked. Yeah.
I'm fucked no matter what. It's like, I was going to be Courtney or Cece. Which one?
Yeah, my dad's middle name is Daryl. He's like, I'm not 65.
My middle name is Benjamin.
Yeah, okay.
Benjamin. I do not see. I had
top of the morning to you, Mr. Benjamin.
Top of the morning. Top of the morning.
Ooh, let's get this shit. Yeah.
Let's get this shit, yo. But like, I have a joke that I talk about how it took me 30 years to get comfortable with my name.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm not capping.
No, I can't imagine. No,
yeah,
I literally
30 years.
Yeah.
I was 30 years into this shit. And I attribute a lot of that to comedy. I also attribute that to driving Uber.
Yeah.
Because I was constantly having to address it. A lot of times anonymity keeps us safe because people don't talk to each other. You can go through your whole day without anybody ever knowing your name or even caring, But I had to take it on the nose for comedy, for driving Uber. Anytime I introduced myself, and I used to just be like, hey, how's it going? Start talking. I'm thinking about it right now. I have this, I have a tendency sometimes to just talk to people without addressing them by name.
Yeah.
And I'm almost thinking, was that a coping mechanism that I developed so that way I didn't have to, one, address their name, and two, have to let them address my name.
Yeah.
Because I would just walk up and start talking to you, and I wouldn't ask your name. Sometimes I didn't know your name.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of times I knew your name, or I wasn't sure if you knew my name. And I'm almost thinking maybe this was a defense mechanism that I developed along the way that allowed me to not have to address my name and why is it Courtney and why
you just
didn't
almost want to bring it up if possible.
Yeah. But now I'm into it because it's me. It's I wear it like a badge of honor, and I think that there's a certain level of confidence that it gave me having this damn name.
Yeah.
Because I was like, yeah, my name's Courtney, and what? There's some times where I would almost be like, have my fangs out, Courtney. But
I can't imagine like elementary, high school, junior high, that era where it's kind of people just get in fights. It's once you get after I'm 24 and I'm I don't want to fight anyone ever again if I don't have to. I'm too grown for that shit. So it's but back then, really, if someone's like Courtney, you're a girl, you're all right, I guess we got to fight on the playground or some shit.
Right.
So I can't. Yeah, that must have been.
I was lucky because I was so much bigger than everybody.
Okay, yeah.
I benefited.
Yeah, my dad's 5'7", so he was 5'7" and
Holy
Stacy.
hell.
Yes.
Christ, man.
Yeah.
I benefited from being a bigger dude. I also, I was funny. I did have funny down already from an early age.
Yeah.
And anything you could say to me, I was quick to be able to turn it back on you.
That's good, yeah.
That was who I am.
That probably helped shape you so much as a comedian.
We're communicators, dude. My sister was 13 years. Let's tell a story. My sister was 13 years old when I was born.
Yeah.
My mom was 30 years old when I was born.
Wow.
So I show up, and it's nothing but teenagers and adults around.
Yeah.
I would cry because I wanted something, and they'd literally look at me like, what the fuck do you want?
Yeah.
Talk. Use your words. I require sustenance. That was how I had to talk, And if I didn't talk, I didn't get anything. They say squeaky oil gets the wheel.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to squeak.
Yeah.
Everybody else was learning how to, just rattle and all that. I had to be like, I'd like a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm starving over
Yes,
here.
I am famished. I'm hungry, you know.
I'm 3 years old and I can't use the oven. Make me fucking food.
I could not reach the oven. I would appreciate if somebody would give me some assistance.
I can't walk. What do you want me to do?
Help.
Please put me at the table.
My mom had this story of when I'd be in a freaking I guess it's not a bassinet. I was in a freaking
Like a crib.
A crib, I think.
Yeah.
That when I was done drinking my bottle,
Mm-hmm.
I would yell milk, and I would throw my bottle into the wall. It's like this little asshole would just ricochet out. You just hear bam and milk, and that was exactly how I was. I used my words. That's who I am.
See, and it's funny because like we're both comedians, but I'm the opposite. I didn't speak till I was 3, and even when I started talking, they were like not like I would call like a spoon a sabi, and like I would refer to things not real words. Like my parents took me to get tested to make sure I wasn't like special needs, and then. And then now the joke my mom always says is one day you started talking and you never stopped. And I'm like, yeah.
See, that's beautiful. Good on them for not freaking out. Because I know it's, as a parent, I want to say my daughter, who took longer to speak? My son started walking fast as fuck. They're 2 years apart. And so my son was just like, he was born and just followed my daughter around. And so his sister, because of that, he started walking fast. Like I have him on video, I think, walking at, it's like 7 or 8 months.
Jeez.
It's something crazy.
That's absurd.
It's absurd because the distance, if we look at the video, he covers a length of a basketball court like that.
That's wild.
Yes, my daughter's running. They're like, well, how do you know he's that young? Because he has a damn binky that's almost half the length of his body, and he's holding his hands out.
He's gonna be a track star, dude.
Yes,
Holy shit.
He's holding his hands out to keep balance, but he's going.
Yeah.
And his hair hadn't even fully grown in yet.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like the patchy stuff.
Yes, it was still patchy.
Yeah, so
now
he's
he
young
has
as hell.
so much fucking hair. But it was so funny because I'm like, I went through that when you were describing that. It took me back because I remember I think our daughter.
Yeah.
Me and their mom were divorced now, but I still say our.
Yeah.
I want to say that it took her a minute to talk. I'm gonna say my son, but I feel like my daughter more. It took her a minute to talk, and we're waiting for her to like talk.
Yeah.
She do the sing-songy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens. Everybody. This is my personal opinion. We all get to where we need to go.
Yeah.
Some of us start a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Some of us might come out the gate and we're talking and we're doing that.
Yeah.
Others may not.
No, exactly.
And we all end up getting there. And, as parents, I tell people all the time, don't worry. My daughter's on the spectrum, but she's fine. She handles everything that she needs to.
Yeah.
The only time you get things is like she gets logged into stuff. That if I say, hey, we're going to do this, and then all of a sudden we have to deviate away from that, all of a sudden she might be like really focused in. Like, I thought we were going to, I'm like, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
Here we are. Let's reset. We are going to do something different.
Yeah.
This is why, and so she knows how to cope with that. Now she's even told me before, you know what? How about, like, they'll always ask me because my kids live in San Marcos, I live in Austin. What time are you going to be here, or how long is it going to be before you get here? And recently I was on my way, and she's like, you know what? Don't tell me when you're going to get here because you might set an unreal expectation, and we'll all be locked in that. And it was so weird is that my son, he's more focused on that stuff than she is.
Wow, that's interesting.
He's the one that'll freak out. Like if I say I'm going to be there at 10, and let's say it's 10:01, 10:02. He's like, where are you at? You said you're going to be here at 10.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she knows me that sometimes it takes me a while to get there. I have to drive between two damn cities.
Of course, yeah.
And it's interesting, though, because I remember thinking about all these things. I'd be like, man, I wonder how they're going to be when they turn, they're teenagers and have to go around their peers. Because I used to actually shelter them and keep them away from people.
Yeah.
But as they got older, I learned, I said, dude, eventually they're going to have to get around people.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to deal with that. Why aren't she talking? That was my biggest fear, that people are going to look at her and go, why isn't she talking yet? I was like, because she's not talking. She's going to talk when she's ready.
And that was the thing, because my mom said the one thing that like kept them from worrying is when people would, freak out, you got to get them tested, something's wrong. They'd look at me and I wouldn't speak, but they would go, Brandon, can you get me the red cup? And I would be like,
see?
And they'd be like, say something. And I'd be like, I just didn't have shit to
You
say yet.
have
I
nothing to say.
didn't feel like I had to say shit yet. And so,
A lot of us have to remember that as parents. What if that kid just doesn't have something to say? I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I was just waiting for something prolific.
Waiting for some real shit to talk about.
I think my first word was star, so it was not anything prolific. But
I'm trying to remember my kid's first words. I think my daughter might have said, I feel like she said dad first.
That's good. That's
and
good.
I wasn't there.
And
then my son, I know I was at work.
I mean, it's not, it happens.
My son I remember my son, I don't remember his first word, but I just know that because like we were separated by this point. He just had a full vocabulary one day.
Wow.
I pick him up for a weekend.
Yeah.
And this brother is talking. And I'm just like,
that had to be so weird.
what the fuck happened? Like, he was just like, and he had like diction to him. He was talking. And he was like, this thing and that
and like
thing.
thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
You went from picking up like basically a dog to a human, because like a dog doesn't have thoughts and opinions or talk, but then it's a big jump between a human and a dog. So,
I'm like, I can have conversations with this dude now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm in my household. That's a big thing for me. Is I love for you to tell me your why. Like it comes back to the name. Why?
Yeah.
Why is this?
Yeah.
And with my daughter, oftentimes she has a why for everything. My son still might be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's going to tell you why. Her mom, we were talking the other day, because I took him with me. I went did some shows in Houston last weekend. And she was like, hey, can you talk to her about, like, 'cause she's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
That's how we communicate.
Yeah.
We're two peas in a pot. We both communicate with sarcasm and stuff. And we're goofy. And she's like, well, sometimes, you know, she's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
So can you talk to her about that, like kind of channeling that a little bit better or turning it down? And I was like, I will. And so I had to explain to her. I said, hey, and I was telling her this as we're driving up to a venue. And it was so funny because I said, hey, we communicate differently than a lot of people around us.
Yeah.
So you just have to be aware that sometimes your humor can be perceived as a snark. And that as a kid, you got to channel that. You got to tune it down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, when you're around Dad, you let that up.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. And it's so funny because in that instant, I go to park, and then the parking lot was full.
Yeah.
Great thing for a comedy show.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Good
so I
sign.
couldn't find anywhere to park, and so I ended up parking in the grass. And I remember getting out the car, and she got out the car first. She came to my side, and I'm like, okay, well, let's go. She's like, Dad, I don't know where we're going. I'm going to walk behind you. And I thought about it, and just in that instant, she showed me exactly who she was.
Yeah.
Because then she followed it up with saying, this is why, Mom, when we go to the grocery store, they always get mad at me because they want me to walk in the front. I said, I don't know where we're going. Why would I lead?
That's such a reasonable
bro,
answer.
13-year-old?
Yeah.
She's just dropping gems.
Bro, she understands herself better than I understand
Thank
myself.
you.
I couldn't iterate. I'd be like, because I don't want to fucking walk in front of you. Leave me alone. Stop it. Like,
Yes. And I was just like, bro, she knows why.
yeah.
So many of us don't know why we do things, but she can tell you her why. And I was like,
That's really good. That's so cool.
Yeah. I love talking to her because it's just like wise beyond her years. And
No,
it's
she sounds so smart, like so introspective.
She's
which
very
is great.
introspective, and she can tell you if you ask her why she's doing something, there's a reason for it. And I told her that afterwards. I said, see, we were just talking about this, and sure enough, you have a reason for everything.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't like that, but I was like, man,
No,
you
I
got
love
a
that.
kid that can tell you why.
Yeah.
You've already damn near got halfway there.
Exactly.
Now you just got to figure out what they want to do and support it. You know.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
they're going to tell you why they want to do it.
No, I love that. Because we're hitting the closer to the hour mark here, I want to do some of the segments before we wrap up here. The first one is the Dumbass of the Week, brought to you by Red Foreman.
Dumbass, dumbasses, dumbass, 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 dumbass.
The Dumbass of the Week this week is Dan Campbell. He's the coach of the Detroit Lions.
Uh-oh.
It came out today that he was interviewing a wide receiver prospect from, I believe, Baylor, and he forced him to drink milk in the interview even though he's lactose intolerant to show he has the dog in him and that he'll do anything to win. Is that not an insane thing to do? A head coach of a football team made him drink milk to prove he has the dog in him.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's so bad. He's allergic to it.
And he's not even a freaking coach. He's literally like a prospect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the
exactly.
coach is a prospect. The player's a prospect too.
Yeah.
But the coach is not his coach.
That's exactly. Yeah, no, that's such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're a new head coach, they might not even draft you.
Yeah.
You just got bubble guts and shits for a guy that's going to pass up on you for 3 rounds.
That's crazy.
There's been some, it's the combine right now at the
I
NFL.
know, I was
So there's
watching a
some
little bit.
wild, like, Josh McDaniels is the new head coach of the Raiders, I believe. And this prospect, it was a black prospect, and he said that, he goes, and it's a white head coach, he goes, he just kept quoting 90s rap lyrics to me, and he goes, dude, I was born in '99. I don't know what the
know.
fuck he was talking about. Yeah, like,
Ice Cube is an actor.
Y'all
okay?
heard NWA? He's like, no, but my dad has.
Right.
Like, what are you
That was a
doing?
movie.
Yeah. You know, it reminds me of you seen Step Brothers when he has the black family. He's like, hey man, we got this totally dope, fresh entryway here for all you and your boys to kick. And he's like, you don't have to talk. He's like, that's just how I talk, player. And it's
that is that combine is a mess.
They're fueling our dumbasses of the week this week because those get me because like I just like how like because it's these are staffs of team for these interviews. None of the other 5 people were like, stop.
Yeah.
Don't make him drink milk. Hey, stop quoting rap lyrics he doesn't understand. You know?
Trying to tell him. He's like, I know what I'm doing. You know what? He's the boss.
Dude, it would be like if someone interviewed me and like, hey, white guy, fucking, how about Ronald Reagan?
You feel me?
Fucking, I don't know what you're talking about, dog. Who the fuck is Ronald
Reagan?
You mean his wife who sucks a lot of dick? I know that. Like, that's the only thing I know about. Yeah.
Deep throat. No,
Nancy Reagan. Yeah, the throat goat.
Throat goat.
Yeah, throat goat. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know about Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, it's weird. The damn pandemic. The damn combine is always weird because you have stories like that.
Yeah.
The things that always piss me off is I'm like, can we just have a normal kid for once?
Yeah.
Like, why does it? So, Latrell, tell us about the time when your dad got murdered in front of you.
Well, because they
your
love
mom got
those
attacked.
fucking
Your mom was
stories.
attacked by a pterodactyl. Go ahead and tell us about that and how you had to learn how to read at the age of 17 and you just started playing basketball and, you know, when you found out that your feet are now able to be walked on. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
He's like talking through interpreters. I was like, can we just have a normal person, dude? I'm trying to draft a bit that says, like, the reason why LeBron James' kids aren't going to be as good as him is because they didn't have to go through the struggle that he had to go through. I said, if LeBron James wanted to make his kids good, he should leave right now.
Yeah.
Like, no, he should leave their mom, leave them, and just be like, I'm doing this for your own good, son.
If he really cared about them, he would put them in an orphanage. So
yes. You see his kid going through the legs, just dunking from 3.9. I hate you, Dad. 50 points in the first quarter.
Because now that kid, they're going to be like, what do you think your struggle is, LeBron James Jr.? And be like, my dad was really hard on me. And they're going to be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
you trained in a pool.
Yo, talk to the guy whose dad died 17 times and was brought back to life 17 more times.
At a basketball game. And that's why he wears the number 17.
Tell me more how you didn't get to go to Morocco for your vacation, LeBron James Jr. I have the same name as my dad. I don't know my dad. Like, what?
I was born in a test tube. Literally.
You don't compare, Bronny. Like,
I don't even have a mom.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, Jesus Christ. Draft this guy.
I just have an egg and a sperm. They're long gone. They're part of me. We are one.
I was found in a boot. I was found in a boot after a rainstorm. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Draft this kid. He's going to be great. He has superstar potential all over him.
That's hilarious. Man, we do Would You Rathers to wrap up the podcast here. So I got a few for you. This one, first off, I want to know what your favorite food is, but would you rather only eat your favorite food for the rest of your life or never eat your favorite food ever again?
Never eat my favorite food again. That means I still got chances. Still got choices.
You're right. Yeah, I think you got to look at it like if you love something, you got to let it go. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because I agree with you. Like, what do you think your favorite food is? I think that's a way harder question than people think it is. Because I was trying to think of it on the fly, and it's like, I guess I would go like pizza, and then like, I feel like I gotta say like chicken because there's so many like variations of. But it's like, can you say chicken is a favorite food? Like,
no. Well, yeah. In my opinion, you have to be specific.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I guess.
What kind of chicken?
I guess, but there's so many. Okay,
Happy
so
Black History Month. I'm asking the white guy what kind of chicken.
Woo! No, I mean I do. Yeah, I honestly, fried chicken would probably be my favorite. Okay. When I go home, like that's the one meal I ask my mom to make is homemade fried chicken. So I think, but like also like I could say pizza because I think like. Anytime I'm drunk, like or fucked up, like pizza always sounds so good. Like the way I try to think of it is if someone was like, you can only save like one food and then you got to eat like these foods. What's the one I would save? Like if I could eat healthy foods and I had to save one gluttonous, I feel like that's a better way to think
Pizza.
of what your favorite. And so then that's where I'd say like pizza, fried chicken, maybe. I do love like tacos. I love any dish with like fries with meat, dude. Like at Tiniest Bar, they got the carne asada fries.
Yes,
They got the Euro fries
Yes,
at the
they
other
do.
truck. Like, dude, any of those, oh, that's my fucking shit. So
Let me see. The reason why I don't have a good answer is because my taste buds have changed. As of
okay,
late.
yeah.
I think we're gonna go with what the now is. The now for me, my favorite thing is curry.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
great, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's a great. You're right. It does change because I don't think I would have said fries, pizza, or fried chicken like 2 or 3 years ago.
No.
So you're completely right. It does change. So I guess, but back to the would you rather. I'm with you where as much as it would suck to never eat those again, I would much rather. Instead of having to only ever eat fries, I would much rather be able to get a steak,
Yep.
a chicken sandwich, soup, like all different variations. So yeah, you got a good one. I get all these from Reddit, so I love
like it. I'm in.
to see what other people said. So we're going with no favorite food, and out of about 900 people, 654 are with us. So we're in the vast majority there. This one is, would you rather have time? I thought this one I really liked. Would you rather have time go slower when you're doing something fun, or time go faster when you're doing something boring?
Slower.
I think slower is like the better introspective answer, because I do understand like when you're bored and I did 2 shows this weekend in San Antonio, and we
Jokesters, right?
yeah, Jokesters
Nice.
down
It's a
there.
good place.
It was
Shout out
fun.
to
Yeah,
Marsha.
really.
Marsha's
Yeah,
good
Marsha was
people.
great.
She's good
So
people.
nice. Yeah, shout out Marsha. She we did Friday night, and then our buddy knew a guy in San Antonio. We got like a $30 cheap
How
knockoff
cool is
hotel.
that?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I got to do like my first real like club on a weekend, 2 nights, spend the night in the city. But we had to check out at noon, and so then we like went to the Alamo. We saw Batman, and then it was like 5, and we were like, what do we do for 4.5 hours till
gotta
the
wait.
show
Yeah,
starts?
yeah.
So we just were like, we sat like at a bar, like we
Yeah.
sat at like a coffee shop, and like that's the moment where like I totally like was like, yo, let's make this fucking happen in 30 minutes. But if then you look at how fun the show was, I would have rather that been 10 hours instead
Right.
of just an hour. So
Yeah.
I think you got to go with the time slower one for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, I enjoy life right now. Time is
Yeah, I don't
the
think
only
life
thing
could
we
be
can't
better.
Get back. That's
Yeah.
the only thing we can't get back. We could lose as much money as we want and get it back, but we lose time. We can't get that back.
No.
So anytime that it's stretching out time, I'm into that.
There are 450 votes on this one, and this one surprisingly was about dead even. We with taking the time slower is 2:33, but the time when you're bored is only 2:19. So I think this I do understand both sides. I think that the way to go you know what I
Enjoying
mean?
that time, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, this was a blast. It fucking flew. I like looked and I was like, oh shit, like I gotta get into these segments. This is a
That's
blast.
what's up.
It flew by. I want to give you a second to plug and promote anything, your social media, any shows you have coming up. This will be out on
when's it coming out?
March 8th. So
Okay,
in
so
2 or
March
3
8th.
days. Yeah, March 9th actually, this
March
Wednesday.
9th. Sweet. Let's see. I do my thing over at Tiniest Bar. I'm there Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have
Yep.
a showcase on Tuesdays. Open mic on Thursdays. Come on out. We're there 8 o'clock Tuesday and Thursday. Just say 8 o'clock Tuesday and Thursday. I do an online comedy show called The Callback every
Awesome.
third Friday of the month.
Oh, awesome.
So this
yeah.
next one will be coming up is March 18th. It's online via Zoom. So if you don't feel like going out and you just want to watch comedy at home, I tell people log in and laugh in with us. We have a lot of cool comics coming up for that. We just crossed a year.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
Yeah, we crossed the year, and now we're on and popping until, we need to stop, I guess. But,
Yeah, no, that's super
it's
cool.
an online comedy show. Other than that, that's pretty much it. If you want to find me, check me out anywhere that you can type in Symply Courtney, SYMPLYCOURTNEY. Just type that in anywhere, and I'll pop up now. I'm in a spot where
Awesome.
you literally could Google me, and I'm going to accurately show up.
That's good.
But
That's
it's
good.
with a Y. If you spell it with an I, you get this chick from Africa.
I did.
who is-
That's who I found
Yeah,
first because I
she's
spelled
awesome.
it wrong. Yeah,
She's
that's funny.
fucking
Yeah,
killing it. If she starts doing comedy, I'm in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah, I bought my website though. I bought
that's
our
good.
website, but
That's
I'm just
good.
saying, like, Man, she got she has a cool 40,000. I think she's verified too.
Yeah.
I know she's verified. So I was like, okay, but she's SIM, I think, right?
Yeah. Because that's how I found it was mistyping it wrong.
I was laughing because I was I bought the website, so I have my domain name. I have the domain for Symply Haha as well, which is going to be the business subsidiary, I guess. And then I want to say I took a run at Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I have just about all of them now. I think there's only one that I couldn't find Symply, Courtney, outright just by itself. But I was like, I think it was Instagram because I had already did one and they won't let you do it if somebody already did it.
There is a Brandon Lejean with the exact same spelling of my name, and he owns @Brandon Lejean on Instagram, and it pisses me. So I'm under an underscore after. But he's we've messaged.
That's cool.
It was weird too because he's probably 5 years younger than me, and he also played football. So and played in college. So there was this. He was a big prospect. I think he ended up going to the University of Louisiana Monroe or the Raging Cajuns, whichever one that one is.
That is you.
It's Lafayette,
Monroe.
right? No,
is that Lafayette?
It might be I don't know.
It's the red one. It's the white red one.
Yeah.
Beats
and I would get messages from reporters being like, Brandon, I'd love to interview. And I'm like, you got the wrong one, bro.
Messed up, bro.
But guys,
we get to talk about one thing. I want to put this in just because I think it's the coolest
of course.
thing ever. I don't know. You sound like you're a hip hop person, right?
Yes, yeah.
I was watching the Kanye West documentary. Which, if you haven't watched it, that thing is fun as hell.
I need to watch it. Yeah.
One of my football teammates was in the damn documentary playing guitar.
Wow, that's so cool.
Homie Nick Clark, one of the best musicians I ever played with at Texas State University. It was the craziest thing ever. I just thought I had to bring it to you. I was like, dude, we both played football.
Dude, I'll have to have you back on and we can talk. There's so much more stuff. This is great, dude. Guys, if you're watching this and you're in Austin, this comes out on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll be at Bomb or Get Bombed at Poor Choices. Friday, shout out Jimmy Clifford. Friday, come see me at I believe they're calling it the Brass Tap in the Domain. It's the old Romo room.
God. That's dope.
I'm doing a show up there on Jordan McDonald's, the wonderful Unicorn Extravaganza. It's going to be so dope. Can't wait for that. Other than that, guys, check out my Instagram. I have more dates coming up. Check out my food show too, Your Last Review. You can see that now on YouTube, and as of it'll now be on IGTV too when this comes out. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for listening. If this is your first time or your 101st time, I appreciate you, and most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
This has been a Your Last Resort production.